Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys, on my lovely day off. And today I will be talking about the latest Tom Ford fragrance for fall winter 2024. Oh my god, the year is almost over. And man, all I gotta say is that this sample cost a pretty penny. It was not cheap whatsoever, guys. So I bought it so that you don't have to spend your hard-earned money blind buying this fragrance. I will break it down for y'all, tell you all about it. Let's go. Now, before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Okay, liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel. Guys, we just hit 23,000 subscribers. I think it was yesterday. So thank you so much for all your support, guys. We finally hit 23K. And again, you know, supporting the channel just by watching through these ads, watching through the videos helps a lot, because it's the same funding that gets all these samples. You know, when I do my sample buying or grabbing, I mean, this is for the channel anyway. So again, please continue your support, guys. We have over 700 no hype videos. If you're new to the channel, feel free to deep dive into them. Let's go on to our review today. And the fragrance that we'll be talking about today is none other than the latest Tom Ford for fall winter 2024. This is none other than Amber Intrigue. Yes, Amber Intrigue. Are you guys intrigued? I was intrigued about this one when I heard about it, guys. All right. Now, again, this is the latest one right here. Very expensive sample, $45 for a 2 ml. That's pretty crazy. And if that doesn't tell you, you know, how much the full bottle is on this one right here. Now, thing about Tom Ford, like I said, you know, in my previous videos, I like the brand simply because, you know, they have a very clear message of what they're trying to do. They do produce some very classy, almost nighttime, gentlemanly, and, you know, for women as well, they make very nice, classy, upscale perfumes. And even if you're not a frag head, all you got to do is ask around people that love fragrances, that aren't really active on the community. They'll tell you that Tom Ford is one of their favorite houses, period. Okay, despite the prices, despite being very, very expensive. Now, this one right here, also, you know, pretty interesting. This is something that they do a lot, is that, you know, they do produce fragrances with a spotlight note part of the name. You know, you have vanilla sex, you have vanilla fatale, and then you have amber intrigue right here, mere mystere, right? So they have always a spotlight note in all their fragrances, and in this case it is amber, and amber is definitely one of those hallmark notes for the fall winter season. Very comforting, sweet honeyed amber that, of course, if you blend it with other notes, can create masterpieces without a doubt. All right, so if you're interested in yet another amber thing for the fall winter season, hear out my video right here. Let's go spray this thing right now. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, the latest Tom Ford for 2024 fall winter. This is none other than Amber Intrigue. And whoa, what a wallop that I got right, you know, the moment that I sprayed this fragrance. All right, this fragrance, as you guys know, I mean, if you look at the notes, I mean, if you are a perfume reviewer or you know your perfumes, you'll see that most of the layers of this fragrance is up top. All right, and the base is actually the core of the fragrance that actually starts in the beginning. So let's start with the base, because the base is actually the strongest part that you can smell the moment you spray this fragrance. At the base of this fragrance, you have amber and labdanum. All right, of course, the spotlight notes, they deliver it from first sniff. Okay, first sniff, you're gonna get that golden honeyed amber and some resinous labdanum come up top on first sniff. That is how powerful that is. Maybe these are absolute notes or pour. You know, nowadays Tom Ford uses or pour, which is kind of like a higher standard type of fragrance note or fragrance chemicals, I believe, that they put on fragrances to become stronger. Without a doubt, this is an amber absolute, or like a labdanum absolute if they existed. Okay, I'm not an expert on that, but Amber and labdanum rise to the top, golden honeyed amber. So for those that are expecting amber from the get-go, you will get amber from the get-go. All right, so this is not one of those fragrances that leaves the spotlight note in the end. All right, so amber from the get-go. Now the thing is, on the top you have really an oomph, an impactful set of all the other notes that really modify this golden amber and labdanum combination. All right, in the beginning, of course, you're gonna get your dates, you're gonna get your cinnamon, and you're gonna get your olibanum or incense. All right, all together, plus that base, plus that core of amber and labdanum, guys. So let's describe it. The dates, definitely a nice dry fruity modifier. Sweetens things with some dates, some dry fruity dates right here from the get-go. I wouldn't say it's like super, like a super big change, because anybody that will ever smell this will be like, oh, this is definitely amber. But there is that really nice, modifier, fruity modifier from the dates, guys. Now, the big one here that really, I would say, is a nice modifier is your cinnamon, guys. All right, you have your dry cinnamon that adds, as it states here in the lingo, they're saying that the cinnamon adds a fiery touch, and I will agree to that. This cinnamon definitely adds a spicy, dry, draw-in nature to this fragrance, plus the dates. And finally, the big one here is also going to be olibanum or incense. All right. Is it going to be the churchy incense? Slightly, but it is blended in. And I believe that the incense in this fragrance is to add body, to add smokiness and body into this, again, oomph intro. Again, all these notes are concentrated in the beginning of Amber Intrigue, really to give you a strong, impactful start. Because as I've said, the actual base notes of these fragrance are reserved in the end once these layers peel off. But definitely an impactful start to Amber Intrigue. Now, my first impression of this fragrance was like, whoa, this is definitely gonna be a very usable amber fragrance. And I did wear this out on a very cool night. I watched a concert actually last night, and I wore this out, and definitely this fragrance made me feel very comfortable and cozy, because the concert was actually outdoors here in LA. It's pretty cold. All right, so this one definitely matched that. But one thing I will say too is that, of course, this one had an upscale nature to it. All right, there's definitely something very upscale here, very Tom Ford upscale, that of course I'm sure all the hip kids nowadays are wearing. That's okay, but really I would say that this can be also reserved for more, semi-formal to formal occasions. Definitely like nighttime, cold or cool, definitely opulent occasions. That's something that's, I would say that's the signature of Tom Ford into this. But I really did like the combination of all these notes in the beginning, not just a simple amber scent. However, some people might think of it as that just because the amber is the spotlight, and it still is going to be front and center despite all these nice modifiers of smokiness, of spiciness, and little dry fruits right here in the beginning. Nevertheless, it's still going to be your golden amber scent. Okay, now let's talk about initial sillage and projection of this fragrance, and I was quite satisfied with that, guys. Obviously, because all the stronger notes are concentrated in the beginning part of this fragrance, so therefore you are going to get a stronger sillage. All right, and definitely even with that strong sillage, I would say aura scent with a scent trail, you'll still have the draw-in nature, because again, you still have the sweet golden amber as well as that cinnamon spice that draws people in. But nevertheless, because you have a stronger amber plus the incense, coming out there, definitely this is an aura scent. Very satisfied with this. I would say that this has a pretty strong, like I said, oomph style, impact style intro that people around you will smell. Okay, now let's head into the mid of this fragrance. Tom Ford Amber Intrigue right here in the mid. You're going to get some nice, smooth, creamy sandalwood, as well as vetiver. And of course, the amber is still going to be strong. The amber labdanum combo, the core of the base, really is going to be still there. So it's a continuance still of amber. It's just going to be amber, woody, smoky with the vetiver coming in. And this kind of did remind me of Bulgari Ambero, something I've owned, but I'll be the first to say that Bulgarian Barrel performance sucks on that one compared to this one, which was actually pretty blaringly strong, even towards the mid, even towards the end. So this one right here had nice performance in the mid, but again, it is a continuance. And for a lot of y'all, it might still be just a nice, straight linear scent that you're smelling all throughout the fragrance. I would say it actually takes maybe 4 hours or 4.5 hours before the top notes of the dates and the cinnamon really start rolling out there. And then, of course, as you know, the vetiver is going to be a continuance note from the incense. But again, it's a straight sensation of just enjoying amber throughout. Again, with most of the notes, the modifiers really concentrated in the beginning 4 hours of this fragrance right here. Still a beautiful mid nonetheless. And finally, let's head into the dry down of this fragrance. And this is, of course, the stage where the core of the fragrance is the one that remains and all the other layers are peeled off. The spices are gone, the dates are gone, incense, smokiness is gone, and you are left with the core, which a lot of y'all will smell from the first sniff, which is going to be your amber and labdanum. Okay, resinous labdanum, golden honeyed amber. Here in the dry down of this fragrance, this is what's left, but it doesn't mean that it is weak. All right, so the performance of this, although it's not as strong as the first parts of the fragrance, it's still definitely going to be there as a lingering amber resinous smell, and it does begin in hour 7 in my opinion. All right, so that's a long coverage before we get to the dry down, kind of like that plain amber labdanum dry down. But I mean, like I said, this is something that they advertise on the name of this fragrance, so you can't really say that, I wanted more or I didn't expect it, because this is something you'll get from start to finish. Again, most of the complicated layers are in the beginning. Nice, comforting, golden honeyed amber and labdanum in the end, from the 7th hour of the dry down. Okay, so what can I say about this fragrance right here? I think it's pretty nice, all right? I think that it's pretty nice. And again, this will appeal to really, for me, casual buyers of the brand. Which, I mean, really, when I talk to people around, it seems like they might outnumber the actual, brand lovers of Tom Ford in Fragcom that go online and, talk about these fragrances, all right? Actual people that are not engaged in the online community might enjoy, like, and buy this one. And I know for collectors in Fragcom, I mean, it's normal for us to have a ton of amber fragrances from different brands and different houses every single winter, guys. But for a lot of people, they don't even have one, not even one. Okay, and this is, I would say, a nice window into enjoying an amber fragrance for the first time, or owning a standalone amber fragrance. Can't say nothing bad, because a lot of the elements that go with a nice amber fragrance is in here. From fruity dates, you have your golden honeyed amber, strong throughout from start to finish, some smokiness from the incense and vetiver, some creamy sandalwood. I mean, there's nothing really bad I can say about the actual formulation. Again, those that collect a ton of amber fragrances maybe find some type of duplicity or some type of redundancy with this fragrance, and some might say, I'm really not that impressed. This is kind of like a norm to me. Again, this might be a norm to you, but it might not be a norm for like a ton of other people out there. So I really feel like for the casual buyers of fragrances, this will be really nice. And of course, the performance, one thing that they did improve on this fragrance. Tom Ford always gets crap about performance. This one, to me, like I said, was very strong, very impactful, and the total performance lasted past 12 hours. All right, I would say even on the 12th hour, I could smell it really stuck into my clothes and into my skin, lingering with that golden honeyed amber. All right, so performance wise, this was pretty well made. And again, this is an upscale grabber. All right, you can wear this at night without a doubt. I wore it at a concert, but of course, part of me was saying, man, this would be, better with a suit or a tuxedo or a dress for the ladies. All right, I feel like this is also going to be a very unisex scent, because it kind of plays around with the sweetness. It plays around with the sweetness. The amber, really, they didn't put a lot of too masculine notes in there, or, even the spiciness is kind of regulated. You have incense and, again, the dates to sweeten it up. So I really feel like this is also a very unisex scent. I would recommend you try it if you're serious about getting an amber fragrance, a standalone amber fragrance to make you feel cozy and comfy during this winter season. $40 though. And with that being said, guys, I'm looking at the price here. I mean, online, I see $350 for a 50 ml. If you're in America, then plus tax, easily that's $400. It's pretty expensive, but you know what? It wasn't the robbery that I felt when I got a full bottle of Bulgari Ambero. That's for sure, because Ambero is actually on the same price. That's from Bulgari. Same price, I would say, as this one for like 100 ml. But man, although that was a really nice amber fragrance with similar elements as this, Ambero performance, I mean, it was bad. All right, it was bad. And I was like, thank God I got it from like a discounter, actually, who's a friend as well. But right here, $345 for a 50 ml. I would definitely try it first. Wouldn't be surprised if this is normal to other people, because some people have accepted that this is just the pricing of any Tom Ford. All right. The collectors that I know, they find it normal. All right. Some people find it preposterous, but it's also because that's out of their budget. So I do implore you to try this first. Again, I got this from Surrender to Chance Perfume Samples and Decants for $45 for a 2 ml. They've got smaller increments, but I feel like 2 ml is a good one. You'll get more than, 3 or 4 like full wears to really test it and give you a full impression of this fragrance right here. So try it first, guys, but nevertheless, like I said, this might be a nice standalone amber fragrance for the fall winter season, unisex. I like it, can't say nothing bad about it. And that is it. That is my no hype review on the latest Tom Ford Amber Intrigue. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance. If you guys and gals have tried it in a Tom Ford boutique, I'm sure it's already out there and you can spray it on yourselves, or if you purchased a sample like me. Let me know in the comments below, guys. And again, thank you for 23,000 subscribers. I appreciate you guys. We're gonna keep going, guys, no matter what, despite what people say. This fragrance channel was born in COVID, guys. And, I really realized the beauty of the fragrance community and fragrances. So that's where I started, and here we are. I've gone through a lot of praises, and I've gotten through people that have said some very mean things to me. But honestly, like I said, this is just simply my expression. I'm putting it out there. And if you guys like it, if you guys and gals like it, we will continue on and chug on beyond 23K. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video tomorrow. God bless. Take care. Peace.